Hey everyone, so I'm going to be doing number 2 in the 2005 AP Calculus BC FRQ. Now number 2, the first thing that they're asking is to find the area bound by the curve and the x-axis. So what's given is that r, so this is number 1. So they give us that r equals theta plus sine 2 theta. So if we want to find the area bound by the curve and the x-axis, we want to plug it into the formula that we already know. And this formula is going to be the integral from 0 to pi, because this is what is given to us as well, 1/2 r squared d theta. And what we know is that r, we can just plug this in to r, and that will become integral from 0 to pi 1/2 theta plus sine 2 theta squared d theta. Now you really don't have to work this out. I would just go and plug it into your calculator. So what you should get is 4.382. And yeah, A is pretty easy. So the next problem is B. Now B asks for the angle theta that corresponds to the point. I was asking for this, that corresponds to the point on the curve with x coordinate -2. So where x equals -2. So we just use our previous knowledge on polar equations. So we know that x equals r cosine theta, and we learned that in pre-calc honors like last year. All we had to do is simply just plug in what we know. So we know that x equals -2, so we can just plug that in right here, and then we know that r equals theta plus sine 2 theta, and then multiply that by cosine theta. So by knowing that, we can just multiply that out. So what I got is -2 equals cosine squared. Actually, you can just leave it like this. Theta plus sine 2 theta. So in this problem, it's easy to just plug this into your calculator so you can see where -2 lies. Now, all you have to do is let y1 of x equal to -2, and then y2 of x equal to x plus sine 2x cosine x. Now in the window, you want your x min to be at 0 and x max at pi, because that's where the integral is from. It's from 0 to pi, if you recall from letter A. By knowing that and by minimizing the windows, you will know that at -2, theta will equal, theta will equal 2.786. So that's what you should get. Now C asks for, they give us that between pi over 3, I'm sorry, that is the wrong. Okay, sorry about that. So it says that between pi over 3 to 2 pi over 3, dr over d theta is negative Now, if it's negative, we know that the particle is moving towards the origin. It keeps on moving towards the origin. That way, the curve is getting smaller gradually. So curve is getting smaller and particle is moving towards the origin. When it's negative, you know that the r, or the radius, is shrinking over time. Now, when it's shrinking, it's going to get closer to the center of the graph. Now, the last letter is D. Now, D is asking the value of theta on the interval of 0 to pi over 2. And we want to find the point on the curve with the greatest distance. So when you see greatest distance, you know automatically that's going to be your max. Now, by knowing the max, we have to use a derivative. So derivative is given, so we know that dr over d theta equals 1 plus 2 cosine 2 theta. To find the max value, we're going to equal that to 0. So 1 plus 2 cosine 2 theta will equal to 0. And once you solve that, you have 2 theta equals negative 1/2. And then we know that theta equals pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3. So with the values of theta, we know that we can plug these values in to, we can plug it back in to a theta R chart. So we know what to put for the values of theta because we know the boundaries, which is 0 and pi over 2. And from the value we know before, we know that pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3 works. Pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3 will give you the same value, so we're just going to use pi over 3, pi over 3, and this will definitely lessen our work. So when you plug this this theta value into r equals theta plus sine 2 theta, which is the original equation, then when theta equals 0, r equals 0. When pi over 2 equals 0, r equals 1.571. And for pi over 3, r equals 1.913. Now, I know this by just plugging into the calculator. So from that, we know that pi over 3 will give you the maxed distance, because the r is the greatest out of these two answers. So at pi over 3, we're just going to simply plug that in. Actually, no, sorry, we don't have to plug it in. So we know that theta equals pi over 3. And then in the answer, it said it's 1.047, simply because if you plug into the calculator, pi over 3 equals this value. So yeah, that's what you'll get.